Hi, and welcome back to What the Cult. I'm Dermot, as always, and here with me today is not Rosemary Conley.
Yeah, I mean, our sex appeal has dropped.
Massively.
But,
Um,
I'm Owen.
This is Owen. He's our special guest today, and this week we're talking about animated movies, which I feel don't get a lot of credit, actually.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the movies that do come out recently that have been phenomenal have been animated, and they don't get enough credit because they're written off as kids. So, like, kids' movies.
Yeah. No, that's the same thing. It's what my mother does all this time. It's like, I'm not watching an animated movie. I'm like, but this one is amazing.
Yeah, like Coco that came out recently.
Exactly. Or Up. Or any other movie that makes people burst into tears every time.
Or the three we're going to talk about today.
We're going to talk about one that most recently won an Oscar, which was Sony's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, phenomenal film.
And then I'm thinking Monsters, Inc.
Yes.
That's a favorite of yours.
Absolutely.
And then a favorite of mine, which is WALL-E. Because I love WALL-E.
And you love the environment.
I love the environment. Yes, this is our climate change episode. It's been a long time coming, people.
What, like climate change?
Yeah, well, yeah. You know.
Sure, you know.
So yeah, Rosemary's not here, but Into the Spider-Verse is actually similar to what's happening right here.
Yeah, so Rosemary is the Spider-Man that died in my universe. I am Miles Morales. And Dermot Kane, who's going to show me the ropes today.
Yeah, Dermot B. Kane.
Dermot B. Kane. The Kano.
The Caninator. I prefer the Caninator.
Caninator, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, see, my initials are DK, so anytime I put that on like a bag or something in primary school, people will be like, Donkey Kong.
Oh, I was EJ, so it was always EJit.
EJit, yeah. See, mine was either that and DK, or they put an IC between the D and the K. Yeah.
It could be worse. My parents did call me Ben for about 10 minutes.
They called you Ben?
Yeah, what are the initials then?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ooh. Can't say that on the radio. Well, probably could. It's college radio. We can get away with anything. So, Into the Spider-Verse won an Oscar.
Yes.
It's one of the best movies of the last year.
Yeah,
I would say the last couple of years.
I would say of the decade, to be honest. Like,
yeah?
From, like, all the animated movies come out this decade, I have to say it's up there.
Oh,
That's
definitely,
one of the best. Yeah.
It's, and also one of the best superhero movies.
Fantastic soundtrack as well.
Oh, yes.
I would say it's probably the best Spider-Man movie too.
Is
that a debate for another day?
Best Spider-Man movie? I'd agree with you there. Of course, people are just gonna constantly say
Tom Holland because he's hot.
Well, okay, well, yeah, that. Or Spider-Man 2 from the original trilogy.
Yeah. I can see why. Fantastic film.
Didn't a guy that died recently, he's on the soundtrack as well?
Yes, Juice WRLD's on it. Yeah.
What's his song?
Can I remember it? No, not when I need to.
You can look it up. It's fine. Oh, okay. We're getting the facts. Okay. Well, whilst you're doing that, I think it's time to do something we normally do when we talk about movies, which is talk about fun, quirky facts about the movies.
Sick.
Or a synopsis of the movie as well. Well, most people are familiar with Into the Spider-Verse now, but basically...
Hyde, that's it.
Hyde. Basically, the plot of it is Miles Morales.
Yes.
He's like your little rebel. He's not really a rebel teen. He's actually an excellent student.
Excellent student, very smart, but just dad as a cop. That's the only problem.
His dad is a cop, and he likes graffiti, so it doesn't really work. Yeah, so he goes down to do some graffiti art in the sewers, because, that's where you do it.
As you do.
And then he gets beaten by a radioactive speeder, because that's just somehow spider people that just come in contact with radioactive spiders on the daily.
There's actually joking the Spider-Man game where he asked, was Black Panther bitten by radioactive Black Panther?
That's funny. I like that. It's like all those memes you see, and it's like the spider biting his hand and he turns into Spider-Man, and then someone burns their hand in an iron and they turn into Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then there was one, someone got bitten by a crocodile, and then the next picture is there's two. It's either Crocodile Dundee or Oh, what's his name?
Killer Croc.
No. Oh, Killer Croc as well. That would have been a good one. No, the Crocodile Hunter. God, I'm so stupid. The guy who got killed by a stingray.
Oh, Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin. One of the best cameos in another movie was Steve Irwin. Dr. Dolittle too.
I can't say I've seen it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
No? Oh, what, do you know Dr. Dolittle?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy talks to animals, but like then he becomes famous in the second one, and in the start he's with the Crocodile Hunter.
Okay.
And he's like, today we're going to jump on this croc behind us. Don't worry, he doesn't know we're here. And then it pans around to the crocodile, and he's like, when Steve turns around, I'm going to bite his hand off. And Dr. Doolittle's like, Steve, I think he knows we're here.
There's a old ESPN commercial where it was in the ESPN offices.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Out of the lift comes a massive crocodile mascot, and Steve Irwin tackles it to the floor.
He went full on in that one as well. He was like,
play.
Stand back!
Fully committed to it.
So yeah, Miles gets just to bring it back, Miles gets bitten by a spider. Then he goes, I can't remember how he actually gets there, but he ends up in a particle accelerator sort of thing that's being ran by Kingpin.
Yeah, that was in the sewers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was just
in
in the sewers where Spider-Man is fighting the Green Goblin from their universe, which is a giant flying dragon man.
I'd have to say, I love the Kingpin design in this.
Oh, yeah. He's just one tiny head and a huge body.
Absolutely squared off.
Oh, yeah.
Not a single round edge on him.
Oh, yeah. And the casting for him was great. It's the same guy who played Sabretooth in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
That guy. He's such a good voice.
It's a very good cast. Haley Steinfeld's in this too. She's a great singer.
Nicolas Cage, yes. John Mulaney. All excellent. But yeah, he finds the Spider-Man of his universe fighting off, and then it's a thing where this particle accelerator thing goes off, and then Spider-Man's injured, and then Kingpin absolutely destroys him. They murdered Spider-Man in the first 10 minutes of that movie.
And I mean, usually Uncle Ben dies in the first 10 minutes of a Spider-Man movie. But got to switch it up. So that leads Miles to go to school and start dealing with his spider powers coming out, and then he meets a Spider-Man from a different universe. Dermot Kane, me. He meets me, and then all the other spider people come in, and then they fight Kingpin and save the day. There's a lot more to it, but I'm hesitant to spoil it, though we usually put out a spoiler warning for these movies because it's just going to happen. Yeah. But I mean, if you haven't seen it in a year, I feel like...
Yeah. It's
especially
like,
with the other two films we're talking about. If you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. Like,
yeah, you're not going to.
Yeah.
And if you have seen it, enjoy. But here's some things I found out that are absolutely fascinating, right?
Okay.
So for normal animated movies, when they animate it, it takes maybe a week or something to get a couple of seconds into it.
Yeah.
It took, and then like to make a decision on, okay, this is where we want to go to. It took them a whole year to get 10 seconds of footage that they were happy with.
Wow.
When it came to the actual animation, right? And there was over 150 animators that worked on Into the Spider-Verse.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's Sony. Yeah, it is Sony. A Sony film.
It is Sony.
Yeah.
But like, still, and it does have a very unique style. That movie that's different from any other animated movie.
Exactly. It's really done the pop art from a comic book. Really done well.
Even like things in the background have like the little white circles from like the old printed comic books. You'll know what I mean when you see the movie.
Yeah.
Over 150 animators. Now there was a few things that said 140, and then another one that said 177. So I just said 150 around that. I'm not sure if that was all at once though. That could have been over the 4 years they were making the movie, because they announced that in 2015. They announced it in 2015, which means they were working on it in 2014.
Yeah, it seems to be the trend now with the comic book films. There's like, it's coming out in about 6 years.
Yeah,
you'll forget about it, and then you'll realize it's a trailer.
It's like the whole Marvel thing. It's like, here's our entire timeline to 2025.
Yeah,
and it's people forget about them, and then they're like, oh yeah, Black Panther 2 is coming out.
It's too many films.
Too many. Well, not enough in my opinion, actually. It took over. Sorry, I wrote in my notes. It took 800 peeps to make 4 years to create. Because that's how I work when I jot stuff down.
You do English, don't you?
I don't.
Oh, thank God.
No, I don't do English. It took 800 people to make this movie over 4 years. Now, movies tend to have big crews that you don't know about, but you'd think
Like the
animated
Best
would
Boys.
take less. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Best Boys, the Good Boys, the Boom Bikes, but they didn't have to deal with microphones, like, because all the studio work is just the actors in the studio.
Basically, what we're doing right now,
Exactly.
Mhm.
We're gonna recreate into the
Word
Spider-Verse
for
in a
word.
minute,
start to finish.
and so that's more of the detail things. But there's stuff in that movie that they really play on the whole the whole multiverse thing.
Yeah.
Because when Miles throws down his test scores, the month
Mhm.
says Decembuary.
Oh.
Instead of like January, December, they just say Decembuary,
Okay.
just to play on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like there's a whole list of things you can find, but one of them that I know you like because you're into rap is, Chance the rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit what's on his hat?
The number 3.
The number 3 on the poster in Miles's room. It's a number 4.
Oh.
They just play with it and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then there's other like things that you just wouldn't even notice
Mhm.
because they're just like one frame.
Yeah.
Like when the explosion goes off and it goes to the wide shot of the city for the
Mhm.
explosion, the first initial explosion, you can see little beams of light that are different colors coming out of it, that are the 6 other spider people entering the universe
Oh,
and flying
yeah,
out
no, I
in
remember
different
that, yeah.
directions. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the fight in the end, they have like a ton of reference to stuff.
Yeah.
One of the ones I thought was really cool was the Brooklyn Bridge comes flying around, and it's like red and fractured and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's actually a direct reference to Daredevil, the Netflix show,
Okay.
because in the opening credits of that, the like intro thing, they have the red Brooklyn Bridge
Mhm.
flying around. And I just think these things are really cool. They're like, because it's a superhero movie, they throw in all of these.
Yeah, I always wonder,
Easter eggs.
is there just one comic book nerd who's like, right, you can put this here, that will fit there. This will
Yeah.
fit here, that will fit there.
I mean, probably.
Like, there's the Spider-Man that comes into Miles's universe is seems to be an amalgamation of the Sam Raimi films.
Mm.
So he's got like the stopping the train with the webs and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But then he's such a sad character because like
Oh yeah,
heartbroken.
they really go all out for him.
MJ divorced him, all this sort of stuff.
His Aunt May dies, and
Yeah.
it's like all the others like happy intros. It's like, I'm from the future. I have a telepathic connection with this spider, my dad's robot. And then like Spider-Man Noir is like, I'm from the 1930s. I like
Yeah.
to fight Nazis and drink eggnog. And it's like, it's such intros. And then of course there's Spider-Ham.
Yeah,
which is-
Spider-Ham is a fantastic character.
Spider-Ham and Noir, I think, are the best characters in the
Mhm.
movie, because Spider-Ham, aka Peter Porker,
Yeah.
he
Phenomenal.
comes from a cartoon universe,
Mhm.
so it's like Looney Tunes, and he's a pig. He's a spider pig, basically.
It's basically the Spider Pig joke from the Simpsons film.
Yeah, except a full comic book.
Yeah.
And actually, because he's been around for a while, the Spider-Verse in the comics has been around for ages and ages.
Yeah.
So the origins of Spider Pig was not a pig that was bitten by a radioactive spider. It was a spider that was bitten by a radioactive pig
Yeah.
and grew into a pig shape, which is horrifying,
Yeah.
but funny. Sorry, I just lost track there for a second. Yeah, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicolas Cage is Spider-Man Noir, which I think is one of the
Yeah.
best things. It's great to see Nicolas Cage back in like big movies,
Mm-hmm.
because he went through a point where he like owed Hollywood millions, and so he was in a ton of movies
Yeah.
that just to make money.
What, National Treasure?
National Treasure 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the best castings from a comic book film. Nearly up there with J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, definitely
That
up
is
there.
perfect. And the fact that they brought it back for Far From Home.
I actually haven't seen Far From Home yet. I know I know everything that happens in it,
Okay.
basically, because I like looking up that stuff and spoiling movies for myself.
It's the hardest thing. You open Twitter once and the whole thing's ruined for you.
Yeah.
Or you see a thumbnail on YouTube, like, all right, that happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But into the Spider-Verse, Nicolas Cage, there's a scene where they're talking, they're all yelling at Miles to asking if he has what it takes to be a hero. It's a great scene where they're all yelling random stuff, and like the one from the future, it's like, can you hack computer systems while fighting off ninjas and stuff like this? But Spider-Ham's input is like, can you float through the air when you smell a delicious ham or a delicious pie? And Noir's is, can you Can you push your emotions deep down inside you so you don't have to deal with the moral ambiguity of your violent actions?
And he's a kid too. He's still in high school. It's like, hey, you're gonna kill some people probably.
Yeah, you might.
Spider-Man kills.
Well, like, Noir has a gun.
Yeah.
He doesn't use it in the movie, but he has a gun in his intro. He fires it off. So
it's like Batman. The original Batman comic, he did carry a gun for maybe two or three comics, but doesn't actually use it.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you? Oh, and there's so many details like that are foreshadowing. Like Dr. Octavius is in it. Olivia in this universe.
Yeah, that was something that was like, you always expect the typical bald man, and especially if you're coming off playing the game on PlayStation, you're expecting the same character.
Otto.
Yeah,
but like there was actually foreshadowing with her because she had octagon-shaped glasses and the lights in her room were all octagon-shaped.
Yeah,
but I still didn't see it coming until she was like, "Oh, you can call me Liv." And then, like, all the tentacles start coming out, and she takes off the glasses and puts on the goggles. It was very well done. That speaker goes off every time, and it's extremely annoying. Just go over there, speaker. Sorry about that.
Well, I have to say, with the amount of Spider-Man stuff that is coming out at the moment, like, you have the game, you had Into the Spider-Verse, and you've got the the MCU films. All of them are at a very, very good standard. Like, there's nothing to complain about. It's because I think it's safe to say is Spider-Man is one of, if not the most loved superhero there is out there. Yeah, it has to be up there with Batman, to be honest. Like, Batman's probably the only thing close.
Yeah, but like, see, even the things people like Batman, people think Batman's cool, but Spider-Man people just adore. Yeah. So whenever it comes to Spider-Man thing, like, you go to Twitter and you see all the fans are saying stuff like, this better be perfect.
Yeah.
And so all these studios, they just deliver perfection, you know?
It has to be, yeah.
It has to be.
Insomniac's job was great, and Sony have, to be fair, since they bought that character, besides the Andrew Garfield stuff,
which
we can bypass.
But even them, I sort of like them.
Yeah, no, I think the casting, Emma Stone's great in those.
Yeah.
But...
And the quips and stuff that he does as Spider-Man is great.
Yeah, it's like Andrew Garfield was a great Spider-Man, but not a great
Peter Parker.
Yeah. And then Tobey Maguire was a great Peter Parker, but not a great Spider-Man. And I feel Tom Holland's the best he can there.
I felt like, Tom Holland's sort of a good mix between the two, but with...
And he doesn't look 25 as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Not yet anyways.
But at least with Tobey Maguire, he was supposed to be an adult. Like, he graduated and went to college and he was, living alone.
Still looked 35 the whole time.
Still looked 35. But he, as a Spider-Man, the writing was good, but hearing his voice deliver those, like, one-liners, it's like, hey, you taking money from the bank, Otto? And it's like, it's funny, but it's just like, it could be delivered better, which I think Andrew Garfield did as Spider-Man. Like, there's a great scene where he's like standing up to a guy for the first time, and the guy pulls out a knife and he's like, no, my one weakness, small knives. It is very well done. And then, of course, Spider-Verse, they were like, we can make them look as old as we want to, so this will be the best movie ever.
Yeah, Sony's like, we'll take care of this character because it's keeping us afloat. That and PlayStation.
That and PlayStation. Oh yeah, I never thought about that. Spider-Man is Sony. Spider-Verse was Sony, and that's why Spider-Man PS4 was only on PS4.
Yeah.
Great game though.
Insomniac again at it. Phenomenal work.
Yeah, they're just perfect. I was going to say something about Miles and Peter. Yes, the scene where they steal the computer from the bad guys. It's one of the earlier scenes. Miles is still wearing his Spider-Man onesie he bought in a pound shop.
Yeah.
And they're swinging through the air. So, do you know much about, like, rendering animation?
Sort of, but not fully now. It wouldn't be my...
Well, you're playing games, so you probably know FPS.
Yeah.
Right. FPS is frames per second, right?
I get that.
Just explaining to people that don't know, basically, it's how smooth a video looks. Like, you see some videos and it's, like, juddery. Like, when your phone's not loading and it's, like, you see an image, you hear the audio perfectly, but the visual might be out of sync.
Yeah.
And the standard for that is about 24, and then the thing that people love for HD is 60.
Yeah, you pretty much when you're gaming, you're basically trying to get from 60 to 120. But for film, it's lower than that. You're not really trying for 60.
Standard film is like 24, just because it's easier to make for them, and it doesn't really need to be that much higher. But for that scene where they're swinging through, since Miles doesn't know how to swing, they actually made his frame rate, his character. Hello, speaker.
It's Rosemary coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
She's trying to talk to us.
She's trying to talk to us. For Miles, since he's not as good as swinging, they made his frame rate lower than Peter B. Parker.
Yeah.
So that Peter B. looks like more casual and smooth, and then Miles is sort of juddery.
So, but if you were to play at the same FPS as Peter B., it would be like normal.
It would be like normal. But people wouldn't. It's not something you'd especially notice unless you're specifically looking out for it, that he looks a bit more janky than Peter. But the scene, the very end where Miles comes into his own, that fantastic scene where he jumps off a skyscraper, and the sound kicks in and it's all perfect. That scene is where he starts being at 60 FPS. The same as all the other Spider people. That's where he comes into his own and he's smooth and he's perfect.
It kind of looks not like like Lego Movie. It's made to look stop motion, but it's sort of similar to that. I feel like into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to go for the comic book look.
Yeah.
They're not trying to make.
I can't remember. Is there like a wham or a bang when someone gets hit?
Oh, there is. There's like several, I think.
Yeah.
And they do the thing where they throw a punch and then the background goes all red and there's like a little stars and everything. Specifically for Spider-Ham, because he's like...
Yeah, because he is the most ridiculous character. Doesn't fit in that scenario. But like,
no.
I just kind of play into that.
There's a great scene at the end, though, where it's like... He's fighting someone, turns around, one of the bad guys turns like, what? This is a little cartoon? And he just stands there. And the way John Mulaney delivers those lines is perfect, because he just goes, you got a problem with cartoons? And he pulls out a mallet and just starts kicking the crap out of him.
Yeah.
The guy he's fighting as well is Scorpion. Miles's universe is sort of the ultimate universe. So all the villains are stronger and...
They've already been fighting Spider-Man the whole time. So when Miles is coming in at the deep end, pretty much.
Yeah, like the way Green Goblin is a giant, basically a dragon. Scorpion isn't just a dude in a scorpion suit. He's like 6 animatronic legs and he's jacked and Russian. Also, sorry, for supervillains, it just only clicked into my head. We have to talk about the Prowler.
Yeah, the Prowler. I was about to call him Nightcrawler. I'm glad you came in.
Yeah, Prowler. Nightcrawler is teleporty dude from X-Men.
Yeah.
The Prowler,
Travis Scott song.
His scenes are absolutely beautiful to watch because of the way because he has his own soundtrack or score or whatever. When he's stalking Miles can turn invisible. Fun fact. When he's tracked down and you find out the Prowler is his uncle, there's a scene where he's looking around. The Prowler is looking around his apartment because he knows someone's there.
Bring this up.
And Miles is invisible, just like. They're inches away from each other, and I actually felt tense watching it.
It's a very hard feeling to feel.
Very. It's amazing what they can do by just editing things in the right way.
Yeah, and I have to say to get the invisibility effect done well in films is hard. It looks perfect in this now.
Oh yeah, he's like just sort of white outlines of his suit and his face instead of just going, blinking out of existence like they did in Fantastic Four, which there was nothing wrong with. Yeah, it's just it looks better for an animated movie. Are we talking
Fan Four Stick or like the early 2000 ones?
Both, I think.
Both dreadful.
I like the earlier ones, but Fan Four Stick was a terrible movie.
Absolutely dreadful.
For many, many reasons. We should do an episode on terrible movies.
Absolutely.
I'd love to do that. Especially the ones that take themselves seriously. Because they're
Geostorm. I have to talk about Geostorm. It is such a dreadful
Oh my god, I have just seen that about a month ago.
It
wasn't Jared Butler.
It was Big Jerry Butler.
It was Big Jerry Butler. I thought it was Russell Crowe for a second. No, I was thinking... I get them mixed up for some reason. I don't know.
Two people from... the East.
Yeah.
East-ish.
I guess. Yeah. Russell Crowe's New Zealand. Yeah, that's a bad movie. Enough on that. That's we'll save that for a different
that's another episode.
We might have you back to talk about that. But for now, I think it's time for a little music. What do you say?
Absolutely.
So do you want to intro this thing? I think you have a more emotional connection to this than I do.
So, very good up and coming artist of the weekend passed away, Juice WRLD. So he made a song for the soundtrack. Has a lot of hip hop artists on it because set in New York. So kind of felt right time to play his song.
Okay, that was beautiful. So this is Hide by Juice WRLD from the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack.
Nina.
Okay, welcome back. That's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
We usually just skip it.
So someone gets free airtime and then skip.
Yeah.
Nice.
They get a little bit of free airtime. Owen was just asking, what do we do if we get an ad? Because we play most of our songs off YouTube. So yeah, we'd usually just skip it.
There's a world outside of Yonkers.
Sorry, I'm playing the song there by accident. That's a little sneak peek into the song from later. Ooh.
Saucy.
But now we're going to talk about, was this one of your favorite? I
would say, yeah, I grew up on this film, I would say. This and Cars. But I felt like you would respect me more as a movie guy. if you had asked, when I asked you what films we were talking about, and you were like, "Oh no, you can pick one," and I said Cars, I felt like I was instantly kicked off.
I mean, the first Cars is a good movie.
First Cars is great. I grew up with motorsports. So.
The second Cars is kind of weird. The third Cars is better than the second one. Not as good as the first one.
I haven't seen the third Cars yet.
It deals with retirement.
Yeah, I know. I remember watching the trailer. I'm like, that is dark.
It is a dark. Like, it's literally one of the plots from Cars is basically the new electric race cars that are perfection basically for racing and like take in slipstreams and the perfect route around the track and angles and everything. They're just better than the old rally cars like Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
And basically one of the plot points is Lightning McQueen has to deal with his friends retiring.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Dark film. But so I thought, I grew up with Monsters Inc. I felt like I still feel personally it's probably the best Pixar film. But
definitely up there. I have a different one that I would say is perfection, but
but everyone else has a different opinion. Depending on when you grew up, it's either Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo as well. It's just do a whole Pixar episode, to be honest.
Yeah, we could.
Mm-hmm.
We easily could.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd need a 3-hour slot though.
We don't have that time.
Yeah, we don't have that time. Monsters Inc. I did look up some fun facts.
Yes.
You might know them, you might not. Boo,
yes.
little girl from it. Her real name is Mary.
Really?
Mary Gibbs. Because she's named after one of... I think you see it on like her journal or something. It's like a very blink and you'll miss it scene.
Yeah.
But she's actually named after one of the daughters of someone who worked on the show.
Oh, okay.
And that daughter was also the one that voiced her. Because they were like, all right, just
kid.
grab a toddler to make random noises and talk about kittens and stuff.
That is Instagram bio. I was Boo in our Monsters Inc.
Yeah, that would be great. Remember? Scrolling through Tinder and this girl was like, I was Boo.
I'll be your Boo.
That's perfect, actually. It was also one of the first films to introduce an actual sort of fur texture on a character like Sully. He's a big hairy dude.
Incredible in this, and it's very early 2001.
Yeah,
but they would have started making this late 90s.
Late 90s, yeah. Probably as soon as they realized, wow, Toy Story was great.
Yeah, let's do something more.
But I found out it was first to introduce the fur look for Sully. It took 12 hours to fully animate a single frame.
Wow.
Because of all the hair on him. So like there's that scene where he's getting ready in the morning. Like that would have taken
absolutely
weeks.
Forever.
2.3 million strands of individual hair on him.
All of that has to be animated.
Yeah, individually as well, because they didn't that's how they did it first off. They just did it individually, this hair, this hair, this hair into the frame.
Yeah.
So yeah, 12 hours for a single frame. Now, if you're not familiar with what a frame is in a movie, it's basically a snapshot of any scene.
When we were talking about the frames per second there.
Yeah.
So there's 24 frames per second. So every second there's 24 frames. One frame.
One frame every whatever, half a second, or no, like 24th of a second.
1/24th of a second, yeah.
Which is extremely quick. But basically how cameras work is that they're like photography cameras, except they're just constantly taking photos and slapping them together. When it comes to animated movies, they got to animate each of those frames.
Yeah.
They don't record it outside, on a camera. They have to make it on a computer. So it makes.
Do you think Pixar now has a hair guy? Like,
oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's just the one guy. He's like,
probably the guy who worked on Monsters Inc.
Exactly.
He's like, I know everything there is to know about putting hairs on things. Like, because you look at Toy Story 4 now.
Yeah.
Look at the character model for the little girl in it.
Yeah.
Whatever her name is, I forget. But she has loose strands of hair coming out of her. Her hair's a little unkept. She has eyelashes.
Yeah.
You can see like reflections in characters' eyes and stuff like that.
If you put Toy Story 1 beside Toy Story 4,
it's completely different.
Exactly.
The best thing to look at is the sky. Well, okay, one of the most beautiful scenes ever made is Toy Story 4, the scene in the rain at the very start. It's beautiful. But to look at the sky, in the first film, the clouds were like little cartoony clouds. Like that classic Toy Story shape of the clouds. If you've seen the movie, you probably know what I mean. But in Toy Story 4, they look like real clouds. Like fluffy clouds. Yeah. If you took a snapshot of the sky from it, you'd think it's real. That's how incredible they have gotten at making movies. And then, of course, this is one that you sort of see everywhere, is Boo's Toys.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, yeah.
When you go back, there's
the ball you can see in Toy Story, the little blue, red, and yellow.
It's actually like that ball is actually called the Luxo ball.
Yeah, it was,
and it's actually a thing Pixar have. It's like their thing. It was one of their images, their sort of logo type thing. He gives her Jessie from Toy Story 2 and everyone after Toy Story 2. Yeah, and Nemo.
And this was. Nemo wasn't out yet, so it was like a little plug for Nemo coming before.
Neither was Toy Story 2. So they were like, oh, it's a cowgirl toy and a little fish. And then everyone looked back and was like, that was Nemo and Jessie.
Yeah. So apparently in every Pixar film, there's a nod to the next one that's coming out. Yeah? Yeah. And there is some fan theories that how they're all linked, but it's absolutely...
There's like a full list you can look up that like... stuff. The talking cars lead to the robots taking over, and that sort of leads to WALL-E and people getting lazy. There's like a very detailed description about it. It's excellent. We actually talked about this last year on Beast on Air with Mr. Sean Masterson. I believe we talked. I hope we talked about it on air, and I don't look stupid now. But,
this isn't just a drunk conversation.
Before. In Brady's. Yeah. Listen to some jazz. And actually, another rare thing that came from Monsters Inc. was the recording of the lines for Sully and Mike. Okay. Voiced by John Goodman and Billy Crystal, respectively.
John Goodman's great.
John Goodman is great.
Love it, John.
Didn't realize that he voiced Sully until I looked this up.
Yeah. Because you just something like I looked up and was like, and the same with
Billy Crystal.
Yeah, Randall as well.
Oh no, Billy Crystal is Mike. Randall is someone else.
Randall is. I'll get it now in a sec.
Oh, I did see it. I can't think of it either. But the fun fact about them is that they recorded the lines together, meaning they were in the same room talking, basically acting out the scene, talking to each other, which is very rare because usually they just put them in a booth. All right, you say your lines, you deliver them well, we'll edit them together in editing.
Yeah. So it kind of means like they can play off each other a bit.
Exactly. That's why they have such a good...
Yeah, Randall is Steve Buscemi.
No.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
There he is.
Oh my god.
I remember seeing it. I was like, yeah, Steve Buscemi. And then, because I did a little bit of research myself, I was like, I better watch these before,
I talk about
them. But yeah, I remember seeing Steve Buscemi, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi, he's in loads of stuff. He voiced one of the Transformers in one of the latest movies. The last night he was like the day trader guy that just shows up.
Talk about last night.
Yeah, is. Well, that's the one with Steve Buscemi. Okay, sorry, a really better movie is in Spy Kids 2.
Oh yes.
In this movie, right? Spy Kids 2. He delivers the line that I will always remember till the day I die because it's such a messed up thing to have in a kids movie. Basically, the premise is Steve Buscemi's a scientist. He creates these monsters. Now he doesn't go outside because he's scared of them.
Instead of hand monsters? Or is that? Am I thinking of something else?
Oh no, you're thinking of the thumbs.
Thumbs, yeah.
The thumbs. No, they were from the first movie. He created all the amalgamations, like the spider gorilla guy.
Oh, okay.
And the slizzards that are snakes and lizards and all this. But he's terrified of them. And then he delivered this line in a kids movie where he said, "Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he has created?"
That's dark. That's
messed
a different
up.
level of dark. Yeah.
I love that line so much, because he gives it such a powerful delivery as well. Like he's standing looking off to the skies, and he's
In Spy Kids too.
in Spy Kids too. Yes, Monsters Inc.
Yeah, my little fact from Monsters Inc.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the scene where the character's name escapes me, but he comes back from scaring one of the kids with a sock on the back of his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
The
I don't think
guys
he was
come
really
in,
given a name.
the cleanup guys come in and they scream 2319, 2319. The guy has a little white sock stuck on the back of his shoulder. So 23 in the alphabet is W and 19 is S, so white sock.
That's beautiful.
Little details like that just makes it.
It's the fact that they even come up with something like that. Like the writers is in there and like, what code? And like they could pick any 4 numbers and it would be perfect. But they're like,
2319.
here's an idea. Yeah, like that guy probably got. It's like, you're getting a raise, sir.
You can get $23 extra.
Yeah, you get $23.19. That is fucking
more than what we're getting for the show.
Hey, you're not getting paid anything, Owen. All the money's mine and Rosemary's. All proceeds go to me.
Pints.
Pints. Yeah, it's true. So yeah, what's your favorite scene from Monsters Inc?
Wow. Oh. Can I cut straight to the end?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you haven't seen Monsters Inc, spoiler alert. But if you haven't seen Monsters Inc,
it's a film from 2001. It's
yeah.
fault.
There you go.
When Sully goes and builds Boo's door back from like all the shreds, put it back together. He has all the plasters covering his fingers.
Yeah.
And he opens it up, and his face lights up, and then it cuts.
And Kitty. Yeah.
Cuts, and I think that's my favorite scene.
That is a beautiful scene.
As a kid, you know, it just makes you feel warm inside, you know, because you thought, oh, he's not going to see this kid he cares for so much.
One of my favorite scenes, just because of how messed up it is to be in a kids movie, is basically they're harvesting screams from kids by going to the rooms, scaring them. They take the screams and put them in a canister. But Randall, his idea, why don't we kidnap a child, strap him in this chair, terrify the lights out of him, and suck the screams out of them?
Yeah.
And basically, it's like he's waterboarding a toddler in this room. It's messed up, but looking back, it's like, why the hell is this in a kids movie?
Yeah. And he ends with this torture tactic pretty much. It ends up getting used on his own Mike Wazowski. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
His assistant never has, like, he seems to be the good side of Randall, to be fair.
Oh yeah, his little assistant.
He's like, he knows Randall's a bit of a dick, but it's okay.
Yeah. Do you want to move on? We have, how long do we have left? 20 minutes?
Yeah.
I think we're going to play this short song. It's from, it's called Down to Earth. It's only 1 minute and 17 seconds.
Yes.
It's from the WALL-E soundtrack, which is the movie we're going to talk about next.
Woo.
That was a little short song from WALL-E. That song, I don't know if they're actually taken from real musicals. I should have looked that up.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's from Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, I'm almost certain.
Yeah, they use Singing in the Rain because WALL-E in the movie, I think everyone knows about WALL-E.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen WALL-E. Everyone had the little toy WALL-E. Well, I did.
Never did, sadly. I had Lightning McQueen, and that was me.
That did you?
Was there? There was definitely a video game for WALL-E at some point.
There was. It was on the PS2. I played it. It's great.
Oh.
It's actually a really good game. Yeah, because back in PS2 era, PlayStation 2, it is one of the best eras. It was like the best-selling console for the longest time.
It still is. It is.
Until the PS4 came out.
It's still the highest sold console ever.
Probably, yeah. They just made video games of anything.
Yeah.
Like literally anything. They just made everything. Like WALL-E, Bolt, if you remember Bolt.
Yes. Bolt was
the super dog.
Disney in-house, and it wasn't actually Pixar.
Yeah. No, it might have been Pixar. I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
It might have been Disney Pixar. I don't know.
Yeah.
They made video games for obviously Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Ratchet and Clank.
Well, Prince of Persia was the original.
Was originally a game. Yeah.
I have to say the Cars one was particularly good, but that's pretty self-explanatory.
It's a racing game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo reskinned. But WALL-E is it's definitely my favorite animated movie.
Okay.
And it would have to be on like any top 10 list I put for movies, which is an ever-shifting list for me. But WALL-E is always a constant.
Yeah.
Came out in 2008.
Yes.
I remember vividly how I saw it for the first time because it was around Christmas.
Yeah.
Or some big event anyways. And my godmother got myself and my brother a gift. Mine was a DVD of WALL-E because she knew I liked sci-fi stuff, so they thought, hey, this movie came out, here you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of that with Christmas presents. It's like,
yeah.
Sorry, he likes that.
It's in the right ballpark.
Yeah.
And then my brother got the DVD of Kung Fu Panda.
So ultimately, you got the better one.
I got the better movie.
Yeah.
My brother doesn't really care much for movies. He likes movies, but
maybe if he got WALL-E for Christmas, he would be into movies now.
Yeah, maybe he would have done media studies instead of computer science. I don't know what about Kung Fu Panda that drove him to computer science, but you know, it's an excellent movie.
Yes.
John Goodman actually also in it, isn't he? No, not John Goodman. Sorry, different actor.
Yeah.
They just look similar because they're both kind of fat. Different actor.
You have to go for the weight.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because that's how my mind works. 2008, great movie. It's a silent film.
Yeah, practically
it's a silent film. Which
besides WALL-E and Eve or Eva.
Yeah. WALL-E. It is a silent film for like the first, I'd say, a solid hour of the movie. Like dialogue is used sparingly. Like there's some little things like the music, or he walks past the TV and it's the president saying, "We'll clean up whilst you guys go to space."
Yeah. Also, all those things that are put on TV screens are live action, but everything else is animated. Which I think is slightly weird.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
Even when you're looking at the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
They have the rows of captains. The first few are real photographs, or at least they look very real.
Yeah.
And then as the character gets like fatter and fatter, because that's how the human race has developed to just be fat and lazy in their spaceship, it gets animated. Which it's a really weird transition thing if you look at it.
Yeah, there's also another thing in that scene where you have all the captains. You have the co-pilot getting closer and closer and closer. So you can the co-pilot was getting more
control, basically.
Yeah, which is basically 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Well, like it's 100% based off 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he even has the solid red eye.
Yeah.
And he has the same face, essentially, as HAL 9000.
Yeah.
HAL 9000. I've never actually seen 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, but
however, I have read the book. Oh. There's a book version of it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's based on the movie or the movie came out.
And the
yeah. But it actually goes into depth about HAL 9000, showing that he's not a bad guy. He was just doing what he was told to do, but his brain couldn't process it the way a human would.
Yeah, kind of similar to this film. He would
exactly.
Co-pilot was given orders. There was nothing else he could do.
The co-pilot was given orders. So basically the plot.
Yeah.
Earth is now covered in dirt and garbage, and the atmosphere has gone to crap.
Yeah.
It's a movie about climate change in 2008. Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah.
And that sends the human race to go out to space to wander around and wait for the WALL-E bots, which it's their waste disposal, basically.
Yeah.
They clean up everything. They shove the dirt inside themselves. It comes out in a little bite-sized chunk, and they put it onto these massive towers.
But I mean, they were waiting for the WALL-E bots to clean up. But what else were they going to do?
Yeah, exactly. So basically all plant life is gone, and they were basically clean up so that the atmosphere is breathable.
Yeah.
And they're waiting for plant life to show up on Earth. Which brings in Eva.
Yeah.
which she was sent down there to find. She's like an environmental analysis bot, and she's sent down to find a plant, which she does, thanks to Wally. He found it, put it in a little boot, brought it home to his little house of knickknacks. And
yes, I loved some of the knickknacks in there. For not like he doesn't know what to do with the Rubik's cube. Eva comes in and solves it in a second. He's like,
what's going on?
What's going on?
Or the light bulb.
Yeah.
The light bulb was excellent. He's like holding it and he's like, see, it's a light bulb. And then she holds it and it instantly lights up.
Yeah.
Because she understands technology better or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One of the funniest things about his knickknacks things is when he comes across a spork. So he has he has forks over here, spoons over here, and then he's constantly switching away, not knowing what to do with the spork, and then he just gives up and gently places it in the middle.
Yeah.
And the reason why Wally is the only one down there is because the rest of them got destroyed in a massive sandstorm.
Yes, he was the only one.
He was the only one made it inside.
Smart enough to know.
He was the one that was quick enough.
Yeah.
Because they all have an early sandstorm warning system, basically in them.
Yeah.
And he just got away and he got lucky, basically.
Yeah.
But he still does his job with a smile on his face, and he watches musicals, and he
has a cockroach for a friend.
He has a cockroach for his friend.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like cockroach is the only thing that survives on this planet.
Yeah, but the fact that he rolls over it and he thinks that he's killed it,
and then it just springs back up. I love that so much.
And I love how, like, we can't say gobsmacked because he's a robot, but like his jaw drops as soon as he sees
the way they animate like emotion for like a robot that has his face is two eyes.
Yeah.
And like his face is literally his eyes shifting, and they act like eyebrows, like they widen, and his pupils dilate, I guess, or his camera lenses dilate.
Yeah. The man is absolutely in love with this woman.
Oh, he's
chases her into space, and
that's commitment.
That is commitment.
And he didn't even chase her in his space. He latched himself onto the rocket from the outside and climbed his way in whilst it's taking off. That's commitment.
Absolutely.
Absolute unit of a man. Yeah. So Eva finds the plant life, and she goes into a shutdown mode, and that calls the robot, and then he has to chase her into space.
Yeah.
To get the humans to let them know there's plant on Earth. We can go back to Earth.
Yeah, we can go
because the oxygen is safer, and it's time to go home.
Yeah.
And that's the prime objective, is to wait out there until it's time to go home. And when it is time to go home, the co-pilot has been given orders saying, do not let it go home under any circumstances.
Yeah, they can't. There's no way they're fixing this.
Yeah, they say basically it's irreversible. Turns out that's not true. But because he's a robot, he doesn't think... He can't compute that, oh, the plant's here, so it is safe. It's just, it's not safe, we shouldn't go back. Which is kind of what HAL 9000 did.
Yeah.
That's for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was I thinking? I lost my I keep losing my train of thought talking about my favorite movie. How do I do this?
There's part, like, the scene where Eva's missing the plant.
Oh, yes.
When they open her up. So, her realizing that Wally took care of her the whole time while she was in lockdown mode.
Oh, yeah, they search her memory.
Yeah, so that's where she's like, oh, wow, this boy kept care of me.
Yeah. I love that so much, actually. There's a great scene where she goes into lockdown mode, and then he's basically taking her around, even bringing her on, like, boat rides through the like, swampy parts of buildings. Yeah. He's bringing her to, like, gaze at, like, the sunset.
Yeah, he's getting shot by electricity.
Yeah.
Protecting her from the rain. And then just brings out another umbrella.
And gets shots again.
Yeah.
It's so good, like, that they made a love story between two robots and made it genuinely emotional.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best love stories there is. Like,
yeah,
it's
true.
A rom-com.
It is a rom-com.
Science fiction rom-com.
And there's great scenes where Wally's basically infatuated with this woman. Mm-hmm. He's following her around, trying to stay out of hiding. But then he realizes he moves a twig, and then there's a great scene because she looks graceful and like she's having fun flying around.
It just pulls
out. Her arm transforms into a plasma cannon and absolutely blasts the rock that Wally's hiding behind.
He's just shaking behind it.
He's just terrified.
Yeah.
And another scene where like she wants to do her mission. More importantly, she wants to complete her mission. Yeah. So she's looking around desperately and then gets upset. She gets caught in a magnet, and her solution is to blast the magnet and destroy an entire shipyard and watch the explosions happening. She's such an anarchist.
That's one of the other words I say in this film is objective. Directive.
Directive.
That's what it is. She just wants to finish the mission, and his directive is like Wally just wants to hold hand with this girl. Yeah, because he sees it on the film.
Directive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good, and we don't even have time to go into as deep as I want to about this movie, but I just love it so much.
I can see it from across the room.
I'm giddy.
This is what Muj looks like in The Roost.
Favorite scene? Do you have one?
Ooh, I like the scene in space where they're flying about in space.
Yes.
He's got the fire extinguisher.
And she's just flying.
She's Eva.
Yeah.
But that is probably my favorite scene.
I love how...
It's so graceful as well.
Oh, it really is. And the music swells and everything.
Yeah.
I love how excited he is when he's showing Eva things.
Yeah.
You know, like, even when he figures out, look, I can fire this fire extinguisher and fly around in circles.
Yeah.
And she's giggling, basically.
Or back on Earth with the whisk.
Oh,
he turns it a little bit and the whisk turns. And she just breaks it instantly. It's a heartbreaking scene. Basically, Wally gets damaged at the end. And he has all the spare parts back at his house. So Eva brings her back to his house. But she has to replace almost everything in him. And when he wakes up, he goes back to work cleaning. Doesn't even look at her. He's back to his prime directive, which is clean. Put this cube on this on this box, and build up a tower. Until she kisses him, and basically their kisses are, she leans in and there's a spark. Literally, they have a spark between them. Lovely stuff.
And that sort of brings back his memory, where she's sad and going away, and then you just hear him sadly say, Eva?
Yeah.
And it's just such a wonderful scene.
You see the eyes go up and down and then back down.
Yeah, because his eyes are sort of droopy. They're at like an angle to one another, and then when he's on his prime directive, they're like flat. Yeah. Like he's determined, he's just doing his mission.
You can see the characters out, like the character of the character is gone. And then when the eyes droop again, you know it's him. Yeah.
I love it so much. And also all the robots in that actually have their own names.
Yeah,
like there's
Bernie, who's there's a whole mini. If you got the DVD for Christmas, there's a Bernie short where it's him just stuck outside trying to get back into the ship.
There's a robot that gets stuck outside of the ship.
Yeah, there's Mo.
Yeah. Mo is the cleaning bot.
Yeah.
Unlike Wally, he's in the dirt and he's like stacking garbage. Mo is just scrubbing along. Yeah. And the reason why Mo gets drawn in is because when Wally enters the ship, basically Mo is scanning for contaminant, basically dirt, and just scrubbing it up. And when he sees Wally is absolutely covered in muck. And he's tracking dirt through the hallway, so Mo just has to jump and do his job,
and then Mo ends up helping him towards the end.
Yeah.
And in the disposal where Wally and Eve get sent down, there's two bigger versions of Wally in it. Yeah. The Wallor or something like that.
Yeah, Wallor. They're keeping track of the ship's garbage. Yeah. Turning it into huge cubes and then just jettisoning it.
Yeah.
Unlike Wally, obviously he's on Earth, so he has the space to just stack it up.
Yeah.
And I like how they actually recognize him.
Yeah, they're like,
you're one of us, because that's where Wally gets damaged, and when they're trying to fix him, they're like, have their headlights on, and they're like, here, we're helping you out here. Such an excellent movie.
Film. Great film.
Not a lot of voice acting.
Yeah.
But even the little that is just so funny.
You have the two people that get bumped off their chair.
Yes.
You've basically only got maybe 3 people or 4 people that talk in this whole film.
And one of them, they like, basically people talk to each other on FaceTime when they're sitting next to each other, so they're dissociated. But Wally breaks one of these people's chairs. He breaks 2 people's individually, and then they end up meeting each other.
Falling in love too.
They fall in love. They walk around, and then they end up saving people later, basically in the movie by like the captain who gets basically any like human that comes in contact with Wally becomes better in a way. Like the captain learns a lot about Earth and culture and all of this.
Yeah.
And
there's that great scene where he's just like, computer, what's dancing, what's Earth, what's water and like, or what's sea and stuff like that.
And what's pizza?
Yeah.
And but like he's still learning, so it's like plants can use to go great stuff like trees and grass and pizza plants.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I didn't notice the time.
Oh wow.
It's 3:00 already.
Damn.
We have to close up shop for another week. Next week, hopefully, Rosemary will be back with us. We're planning on doing Christmas movies next week.
Oh, phenomenal stuff.
Because it is our last episode before Christmas.
And
then
if you do not talk about Die Hard, which is the greatest Christmas movie of all time, do not give me that look, Mudge.
Okay, we'll mention Die Hard. Okay, well,
Yeah,
just for you, Owen.
Just give me a little shout out.
Shout out to Owen. He doesn't know what a Christmas movie is. He likes Die Hard. Die Hard's a great movie. It's just not a Christmas movie. Because it's just at Christmas.
Okay.
Okay, this is
Love Actually.
Love Actually. Excellent movie, okay? But thank you guys for listening.
Thanks.
Owen, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.